Hi, my name is Julia Michelson. This PechaKucha is over the bear. The bear was written by William Faulkner. It is also over a white heron. A white heron was written by Sarah Jowett. A PechaKucha is a 6-minute and 40-second long presentation. It contains 20 slides in total and they are 20 seconds long. The slides mainly just have pictures. The two stories that I compared and contrasted were The Bear and A White Heron. These two stories were very similar but also very different. William Faulkner wrote this short story and it started to go famous. He decided to take this short story and write an entire book. He took his short story, The Bear, and added it in a chapter in Go Down Moses. This story ended up getting pretty popular as well. A White Heron was written by Sarah Jowett. She wrote this story in 1886. It starts off with Sylvia moving from the city out to a farm rural area. This area is her grandma's house. She is moving because of a kid that was mean to her. Sylvia is a lover of nature. She is about 8 years old when she moves. She has a close connection to nature and the White Heron. The Bear is a story about a giant legendary bear named Old Ben. This bear is so mean and big that even hunting dogs won't go near this bear. All the hunters around this area know about Old Ben and want to shoot him. This bear has been shot many times and got his foot stuck in a trap once, so his foot is very weird. This makes his tracks easy to spot. The story starts off with a man named Isaac McCassin, who is at the time in the book 16 years old. He goes to a hunting camp and learns a lot about how to hunt. He has been doing this for a long time. He learns how to shoot, trap, hunt, and do woodcrafts from a guy named Sam Fathers. Isaac starts to go on these hunting trips, and he never once thought he would see Old Ben. The hunting dogs wouldn't go anywhere near the bear, so Isaac used a feist. According to dictionary.com, a feist is a small dog that has little sense of danger and fear. He uses the feist to try and distract the bear because a feist seems like a dog that could not sense any fear. The dog ends up not doing what Isaac wanted, so Isaac has to save the feist. A couple of years after that, the hunters were still looking for Old Ben, including Isaac. They came upon a dog that they finally thought was brave enough to take on Old Ben. This dog was part Airedale Terrier. He was found attacking livestock. They called him Lion. They starved the dog into submission. Boone Hagenbeck is the person that is in charge of taking care of Lion. Lion latches onto the neck of Old Ben. Old Ben fights and claws Lion, but Lion holds on. Boone jumps onto Old Ben's back and stabs Old Ben until he dies. When the bear finally dies, the other hunters finally notice that their fellow hunter Sam is face down in the mud. He was clawed by Old Ben. There were many other hunting dogs that were very injured and dead too. A few days later, Lion and Old Ben died together. This story shares the theme of never giving up. The point of view in The Bear was third person. The story had words like he went or he heard to show that. The setting of the story was set around 1877 and the summer of 1878. It takes you through Isaac's life, though. He starts out being a 16-year-old boy, and throughout the story gets older. It was in and out of the forest, too. This forest was on a plantation that was given to Isaac. There are a lot of different conflicts in the story as well. The biggest was Old Ben. They will solve this problem by stabbing the bear. The other conflict the most hunters faced was not having a good hunting dog. There is also symbol in the story. This main symbol in the story is Old Ben. Old Ben symbolizes nature in its most natural form. When Old Ben dies, this shows the destruction of nature that should not have been done. The white heron is a legendary, super rare bird in the story. The white heron was very hard to find, but Sylvia had seen it before. It is a pretty large bird and has a very long beak. The beak is orange, but sometimes during breeding season it turns dull black. They also grow long, loose, breeding blooms from its back and wings. One day, Sylvia hears a man in the distance and he whistles at her, quite loud and aggressive. Sylvia is scared because she doesn't know him and she is scared of people. The man ends up getting her to calm down and to trust him. He brings her back to her grandma's house and her grandma invites him in to eat and talk. He ends up spending the night. He tells Sylvia and her grandma all about his bird collection, and Sylvia tells this hunter all about what she knows about birds. The hunter kills the birds and stuffs them. This upsets Sylvia. He asks Sylvia if she knows anything about a rare white heron. He offers them $10 for it. Sylvia goes with the man the next day while he hunts. For some reason, Sylvia seems to be generating a little crush for this hunter. Sylvia climbs up a pine tree the next day to try and find the white heron's nest. She finds the bird and the bird's mate. She rushes home to reveal what she learns to the hunter, but when she goes to tell him, she cannot speak. The hunter gets really disappointed and frustrated and decides to leave. The story has many different themes. One of the main themes is isolation and loneliness. The grandma lives by herself, away from civilization. She then takes Sylvia away from the city and brings her to the country. This makes Sylvia very scared of people, and her only friend is a cow. Another theme in the story is making tough choices. The setting of the story takes place in the countryside of 19th century New England. The world looks very different in the eyes of Sylvia, though. To her, it is very beautiful and full of crazy and awesome things like the White Heron. The story is also in the woods. Sylvia explores these woods a lot. The White Heron lives in the pine trees of this forest. There are two different point of views in the story. The main point of view is the third person, but some parts in the story are more first person. This is shown when the dialogue starts in the story, so when people are talking back and forth and there is quotations. Some of the conflicts in the story would include choosing to give the location away to the hunter of the White Heron and moving from the city to the country. Some of these symbols in the story are the White Heron, the hunter, and Sylvia's cow. The White Heron symbolizes the perfect nature and the things that are naturally beautiful in the world. The hunter would symbolize evil. The bear and a white heron are very similar stories. They both involve hunters going after a legendary rare creature. They both have someone that is fighting for the creature to live as well. Both of the stories have a symbol representing the beauty of nature. They both have a setting in the woods. Both of these stories have a third person point of view. Thank you for watching.